Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2 Episode 6, Tribe, which was directed by Stuart Lee and written by Matt Michnovetz and was released on February 1st, 2023, which I thought was another good episode. In it, we see the return of Gungi, the Wookiee Jedi Padawan, which we already knew was coming because of the trailers, but it was nice to finally get the episode. And there was a lot I definitely liked about the episode. In it, the Bad Batch, at the start, are on this mission to go to this space station to give some forged chain codes to this group of droids called the Vanguard Axis. But aboard the station, Omega hears the cries of someone, so she goes and investigates and finds Gungi, which the droids have captured him and are going to give him to some bounty hunter or something, or not bounty hunter, so someone who has a bounty on him or something. I don't know. It's kind of mentioned. Briefly, I would think it would maybe be, the Empire, but, Omega, saves him, which the droids get alert about it, and so the rest of the Bad Batch help them out, and they escape, which aboard the Marauder, Gungi is obviously very much, on edge, not really wanting to interact with the Bad Batch, because, they are clones, and, the clones, obviously, took everything, away from Gungi, probably killed his master, and maybe even some of the other, Padawans, but Omega, Hunter, and the others are able to calm him down. He kind of gives them his name, and they give him some food, which I found the scene of him, finally eating funny. I just liked how he just took all of it and whatnot, because he's he's a Wookiee, so they eat a bunch. But he then says that he's trying to get back to his homeworld of Kashyyyk, which I think his record kind of mentions that they've already been there before, which was actually supposed to be an arc of the Clone Wars, which there's a lot of ideas, from that arc, the ideas we knew or know were going to be in that arc are kind of just adapted into this episode, because once they get to Kashyyyk, we see a bunch of Trandoshans attacking the planet, rounding up Wookiees with the help of the Empire and the clones and whatnot, which in the original idea for the Clone Wars arc was supposed to be the same exact, Trandoshans doing the same things to the Wookiees, but, with the help of the Separatists instead of the Empire. So, this episode definitely adapts a good bit of that, what was supposed to be in that arc, into this single episode, which I will get into that more in a moment. But the Bad Batch get to Kashyyyk and kind of leave the ship and are heading into the forest, which they run into some Kinraths, which were originally from the Knights of the Old Republic. But instead of killing them, Gungi kind of calms them down and gets them to let them pass, which in that Clone Wars arc, the Bad Batch were going to fight some of the Kinraths and whatnot. But the Bad Batch take Gungi to a village they knew the location of. But when they get there, they find that it's been attacked by these Trandoshans, which they get a closer look and find them rounding up Wookiees. So Gungi takes action in his own hands and attacks them. So the Bad Batch help him out and whatnot and take care of the Trandoshans and free the Wookiees. And then afterwards, stop the fires the Trandoshans have set and whatnot. Which when they're all done, they hear a bunch of noise coming, thinking it's more Trandoshans. But it turns out to be more Wookiees riding these creatures called Mylas, which were another thing what was going to appear in that Clone Wars arc. These creatures haven't appeared in any story beforehand, but they were made for that unaired and unfinished arc. But they take the Bad Batch and Gungi to their village, where the Elder Yana introduces herself, and Hunter tells her about Gungi and whatnot, and how he's trying to find his Wookiee village, I guess, trying to find where he originally came from, because obviously, he doesn't know that, because he was taken by the Jedi before he could even have memories of that. But for the time being, Yana agrees to let Gungi stay with them. But we then see the Trandoshan leader named Venomore, who was also supposed to originally appear in that Clone Wars arc, but he's with some other Trandoshans and some clones. They find the wreckage of the fight the Bad Batch had earlier, which they notice the lightsaber burns, which, the one clone says that they should report it, but Venomore says, no, they'll find the Jedi themselves. Which later we learn that the Wookiees know the Trandoshan convoys closing in on them, And so they tell the Bad Batch, kind of to leave. But the Bad Batch instead decides to help them fight the Trandoshan's. But we then see the Wookiees go over to their big tree, putting their hand on it, and start to listen to what the tree is saying, which Gungi joins in, which I thought that was a neat moment to get more about some Wookiee culture and whatnot. But later, Echo notices the convoy coming in on them, so the Wookiees get up, and Gungi tells the Bad Batch that the trees have a plan, so they attack the convoy, which Gungi and then, the trees do most of the work as Gungi gets Venomore to run deeper into the woods, and, Gungi follows him, but Omega also follows Gungi, while the trees send down some more Kinrass to take out the remaining clones and Trandoshans, and, the Bad Batch and the Wookiees take care of whatever's left. But we see Gungi following Venomore deeper into the forest. Venomore has the flamethrower, setting stuff on fire and whatnot. So, Gungi kind of jumps down, starts fighting him. Gungi's able to destroy his flamethrower, but then some more Kinraths come and then take Venomore and web him up, which is it's kind of weird. But that's kind of it there. I do wish there was a little more there. It kind of just happens kind of quick. But like I mentioned earlier, Venomore set the some of the forest on fire. So Gungi, along with Omega, like I said, who followed Gungi, have to go warn the others. And so they do. And then later we see them afterwards having dealt with the fire and whatnot. But the episode ends back at the village where we see Gungi and Omega listening to the tree, which I really like that moment because, Omega, probably can't hear what the tree is saying, but joins in to, be with her friend. I really like that little moment. But while they're doing that, we see Hunter and Yana speaking, which, Hunter just wishes, they could just be kids. But, with saying the galaxy, they can't be. Which Yana, kind of says that, someday the galaxy will be set onto a different path, which Hunter says he hopes without any war. And that's when the episode ends, which I like that last little conversation between them. But like I said, I thought it was a good episode. It was almost a great one. I loved everything with Gungi and then the Wookiees and everything going on Kashyyyk with the Trandoshans and whatnot. But I found the pacing of the episode to be just a little off. Like I mentioned earlier, this was adapting a lot of stuff from that unused Clone Wars arc. So it feels like maybe they kind of took a bunch of ideas from multiple. I think it was going to be a 4-episode arc. It felt like it took a bunch of ideas from those 4 episodes and put them into one. So that probably why some of the pacing feels a little off. Also, some of the action scenes in the episode were kind of weak. This series usually has pretty solid action, but this one I just felt like the action scenes are just kind of done and over with pretty quickly. And definitely with when they finally fight the Trandoshans and the clones or the Empire and whatnot, that just kind of wrapped up a little too fast. So I definitely thought that kind of dragged the episode down a little bit. Didn't drag it down a crazy amount. There still was a lot of really great stuff in this episode, but it's just almost perfect. If I didn't have those issues, it would have been one of my favorite episodes of the series, because I really, really enjoyed all the other stuff. So yeah, but my grade, I'm gonna give it an A-. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for this one. Next week I'll be back reviewing episodes 7 and 8 as they will come out together. So you check that out then. But in the meantime, you check out my reviews on the first 5 episodes and everything else to do. I've been Star Wars, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
We'll take all the allies we can get.
Let's go.
Let's get to work.